Hello and welcome to SudoKanard. We're here to solve this little killer Sudoku. Once again, a puzzle by Jan Vondruška for the Czech Sudoku Championship. This was in round 5 with lots of math variants. And I leave in the description a link for online solve. So once again, I forgot to add the rule set, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. So 9 here is the sum of those two digits, 17 the sum of those 3 digits, 33 the sum of those 4 digits, and so on. And digits are allowed to repeat according to the usual rules of Sudoku. So place to start is this 16 clue, which has to be 7 and 9. 14 here has quite a number of options. 5 as well. I didn't mention the difficulty. I did test solve this puzzle, and I think my time was around the 13-minute mark. 6 is quite constrained because the minimum value you can have here would be with 1 here, 1, 2 there, and 1 here, which would make a total of 5. And the same is true for this. 1 here, 1, 2 there, 1 here. But something you must take into account is the fact that here, those two digits can't both be ones, and those two digits can't both be ones. Actually, the minimum value for those two cells is 3. Same here, same here, same here, which means that the minimum value in total for those two mini diagonals is 12, which is the value that happens here. So those are actually 1-2 pairs. And now knowing this, so those must sum to 3, so those must sum to 3. This is also 1-2 pair, and this is also 1-2 pair. So this is for a start. Now this 14 clue can't use 1 or 2, and it can't use 7 and 9, so I think the only option is 3, 5, 6. 3, 4, 7, yes, that's the only option remaining, and we get 4 and 8 here. Another way of seeing this is that those two cells had to sum to 12 without using 7 and 9, and the only option is 4 and 8. 8 here looks not quite plausible because here the minimum values would be 3 and 4, which is a total of 15, and those two would sum to 1, which is not allowed. So that's the 4, that's the 8. So there's one option, one of the options for 14 here is removed. It can't be 8 here and 6 there, but it can still be the other way around, or 5 plus 9. So that doesn't seem to be resolved. This 13, the minimum value here would be with 3, 4, 5, which makes 12. So we must add 1 somewhere, and only 5 can be upgraded. So this is a 3, 4, 6 triple. So that now this 14 clue is 5 plus 9. Those are 7 and 8, and there's a 7 here. So this is 8, this is 7. And this is now 9, and this is 7, and this is 5, and this is 9. I can remove 5 from the options here. Now this is 4 or 6. This is not 4. Those are from 3, 5, 6, and 9. I don't think it's useful to pencil mark those. Alright, this is a start for this part of the grid. Now, what can we do in this part of the grid? 5 has 4 options. 18 has a monstrous lot of options. 34 is much more constrained. Here the maximum value is 17, so that here the minimum value is 17, which means it can only be 8 and 9 or double 9. And seeing this, that digit here has to be a 9. And this has to be 8 or 9. Now this is 17 or 18, so that those two digits sum to 16 or 17, so they must include a 9. And knowing this, the 9 must be here, and this is from 7 and 8. Right. This 33 is constrained as well. Here the maximum value for those two digits is 8 here, 9 there, so that's 17, meaning that the minimum value here has to be 16. So 9, 7 or 9, 8, and we can see that this can't be more than 7. So the only option is with 7 here, 9 there, and here's 17, which is with 8 here and 9 there. So this is 8 and this is 8. I don't remember solving this that smoothly when I test solved the puzzle. I had a much harder time than that. Looking at sevens, we must have a 7, so 7 can't be here, so it will be in one of two places there. Actually, the maximum value now here is with 6, 7, and 5, which makes 18. So this is 7, and those are a 5, 6 pair. Now those two sum to 5, and those two must sum to 5 as well. Saying this, that has to be 1 or 2, and this is 3 or 4. And here this contains a 1 or 2 and a 3 or 4. Where do you look next? Perhaps this 17. The maximum value here would be with 4, 6, and 8, which is a 19. So we have 2 degrees of freedom. And actually, I can't do this without the 8. Without the 8, the maximum value would be 4, 5, 6, which is 15. So 8 has to appear somewhere and can only be here. So the other 2 digits must sum to 9. Those must sum to 9 as well. So none of them will be 1 plus 8 or 2 plus 7. So the 1 and the 2 must be here. So one of them here will be 3 plus 6. The other one will be 4 plus 5. I don't think this can be disambiguated at this point. But something of interest is the amount of cells that contain 1 or 2. This is where coloring seems to be the thing to do. Let's say this is orange, this is green, and this is orange, green, orange, green, orange, green, orange, and green and orange. We must have as many ones as twos. And seeing that, I don't think I can do much more. So that was probably not very useful in the end. Let's get back to Sudoku. Where else can we look? One of them here must be green. Doesn't seem to be that useful as I mentioned earlier. Should we look at 29? Perhaps this would be wise. Oh, I'm just seeing that this is 9. So there will be a 9 here and 9 there. This is from 3, 5, and 6. But let's look at this 29 clue. This is the sum of all those digits. Let's have a look at the maximum possible value. Here it would be with 6. Here it would be with 7. Here it would be with 8. And here with 6, that's way too much. That's 35, so we are far from the maximum value. Perhaps 16 is more interesting, because here the minimum value would be with 4, 3, 4, that's 11, so that the maximum value for those two cells is 5. So there has to be a 1 or a 2. So green is in there, and because of that, green can only be here. So the coloring was useful after all. And green will be here, and somewhere here, and orange will be somewhere here. Green will be somewhere here. I don't think there is anything more useful at this point. This is from 3 and 4. This is not 3. And now this has to be from 3 and 4, because those two cells must sum to at most 5, so this is from 3 and 4. And looking at the minimum value from this side, we get 1, 3, 4, that's 8, so that this plus that is at most 8, without using 1 and 2, so 6 is impossible after all. So that has to be a 4. That has to be a 4 as well. And this is interesting now. 4 and 5 here prevent this 9 from being 4 plus 5, so 4 plus 5 is on this part, and this is 3 plus 6. And this now is from 4 and 5. But now let's have a look at this. So I said that this plus that would be at most 8. So this can only be a 3. Here we have 11 exactly, so this plus that is 5. Alright, that's not a 3. 3 in the column is here, so that's a 6. This is 6, this is 3. So 4 and 3 there. And now, because of this 5 clue, we know that greens must be 2s. And oranges must be 1s. And this must be a 3, because that's the only way to sum to 16. That's, oopsie. What did I do? That's, this here is not a 3, that is a 3, and actually this 6 told us this had to be a 3. This row needs 4 and 7. This 4 disambiguates that. And that. This must be a 5-8 pair. And now let's have a look. This can only be a 6. Here I need 7 and 5. Here I need 1, 2, and 4. So let's look at this 14. We already have 9, so this plus that must be 5, which means 4 here, 1 there. Let's have a look at this 29. We already have 17, so this plus that must be 12. 8 plus 4 is impossible, so it will have to be 5 plus 7. We get this 7 and this 5. This 18 now. This is 17, so this has to be a 1. This is 6. Let's do some Sudoku now. 5, 6, 8. So this is 8 surrounded by 5 and 6. Here we need 4, 7, 9. So this is 7 with 4 and 9 here. Here 1, 5, and 9. So this is 5. This is 1. What did I do? Sorry about that. So this was, after all, 4, 7, and 6. So this is 4, 6. I say 6, 7, 6, and 5. Here I get 1, 5, and 9. So this is 5. This is 1. This is 9. Here I get 3, 4, and 9. And here I get 2, 2, I say, 3 and 8. Are you telling me that this 45 clue was not needed? This is not what I remember. I remember having to use this 14 clue to disambiguate something. I just don't remember one. This 45 clue was supposed to disambiguate. So maybe I made a mistake somewhere. Maybe at some point I just overlooked a possibility. Or maybe not. Maybe the 45 clue was not useful in the end. This is just not what I remember. So anyway, thanks for watching this video and see you soon on SudoKanard.